definitely in ERLs, it's so much easier to pull out again because the teams curate their own meta and the way they want to play the game. So if Kreis wants to pull out the Kled, which he's so good at, he can because the team can play around it. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is perfect for Kreis because JDXL are on the red side. They can leave that R5 for Kreis and get that counter pick on the top lane.
I got me excited on the Kled. It's one of
I
my
am
favorite
too,
champions.
I must say.
Yeah. I love the way he screams. So let's go. Rek'Sai being removed as well. This is one that I've been looking for, like to see the Rek'Sai inside of the game. But there we go. He's going to be removed nonetheless.
Yeah, and it is a champion that has seen a lot of prowess in solo queue as well. We've seen the Emax as well to come through to just one-shot 80 carries with the true damage. But Jax, obviously no surprise, it was one of Kreis' most played champions as well. You can argue how the performance was in LEC. Either way, it was still LEC, right? So as Trouble is mentioning, very strong performance there. And so far, no AD carry bans has come out, which is to me the biggest surprise is it's something that's really been coloring our day today.
Is that...
What?
That looks to me like a Jinx B1. Yeah, yeah.
You and me actually being the one coming through here. And you say it, Jinx B1, it's a champion that has...
In the hands of Venza as well?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but Caitlyn is one of those that's also just
Arcane coming in hot?
Oh my god. I hate the Arcane memes, but okay.
What's powder been locked in here?
We finally get to see the Caitlyn as well. And you know what? I quite like this as well. It's a champion we've seen banned both on blue and red side. So I think it comes down to how well some of these AD carries are piloting the champion at the moment. And no, you might not even get some Arcane action because it's going to be Jhin. And you were talking about top side. Me seeing a Jhin here kind of tells me, you know what? They don't want to play for bot side. They want to play top side.
I love this. I love when teams will pick Jinx when there's a long range pushing bot lane because Jhin can stay relatively safe later on in the team fights as well. So you take that super long range that one team creates and you make it even longer. So you play even further away from them. Now the question right here is, are we going to see some top type of Lux? Are we going to see Morgana? Are we going to see a Karma? Because I'm looking at this bot lane right here and I'm looking for an all-in. You could play towards that Leona Jhin lane and try to shut down the Caitlyn. But then on the other side, if you look in something like Morgana, this is going to be much harder to do.
I like to see that Karma, as you were talking about earlier, like the combo between Caitlyn and Karma, the movement speed you get, the shielding, the protection for Caitlyn. I think obviously with a lethal tempo, but we might see Morgana protecting her from the Leona. No CC on the bot lane. This is amazing.
It's just like a classic combo. Blind picking Leona there is so disrespectful when you already see the Caitlyn being picked as B1. Because if you get hit by binding, you die. There's the trap on top of the binding, into the headshots, into the net, into the kill to a peacemaker. Exactly. You're just stunned there. So to me, like, this seems like Dusty is quite happy about this Leona pick coming through. And yes, you can start roaming around, but this Caitlyn, she's going to get plating for herself.
Okay, we get two junglers, and these are hard engaged junglers, and Orianna is available, and this could be a really express, like, get the ball in the middle of the team, try to shut down Jhin, even though he's on the backside.
Yeah. So here I'm expecting a bunch of mid lane bans from the side of JDXL. I'm expecting them to blind pick their mid lane because there's like a bunch of blind pickable mid laners right now. And again, go towards playing for Kreis on the top lane, possibly see something more aggressive, something like an Aatrox, a Camille, a Fiora, a Kled, potentially, if he so wishes. I don't see a Kled as a bad pick here because they have Leona, they have Xin Zhao. If they manage to lock in something like a Vex in the mid lane as well, I feel like a Kled ultimate is going to create a lot of fuss around that.
It's also just going to be curious to see if the target bans they're throwing out right now, if it's specifically for mid lane or if it's up for the top side. Because if I'm seeing an Aurelia ban while I'm a mid laner, I'm thinking, okay, I want to blind pick a control mage here on 4th. But if I see another top lane ban here, maybe we're actually looking towards something where you want to throw Kreis just with a blind pick and then save that priority for the mid lane instead. So there we go. Top lane ban is coming through. Something to deny all these dashes with the Poppy. And I know you love Poppy.
I do, but I was expecting, like, you remove the Poppy, so this means that Kled can jump around. Kled can go with the ultimate.
Leona as well.
Yeah, so it's all in, just go in. Camille again, getting banned on the top lane. We all know why. The true damage on the Chomp Chomp. And meanwhile, let's see what they're going to pick. I believe they're going for the mid laner now and saving the top laner for the last.
Here's the thing. That's why. There's been 4 top lane bans, which that indicates that you're going to blind pick the top side of the map. And I think it's a really clever pick right here because Jarvan wants to engage, but once the cannon barrage goes down, the team cannot follow anymore because they cannot walk through it. I think it's a very clever pick right here. Kreis can stay relatively safe, and then there's picks like the Vex that you can go through. There is Syndra. Victor is still up and available as well. So there's plenty of things to pick for the mid lane.
Gonna be curious to see what they use as a counter here, because locking in a Gragas doesn't mean that you want to play for the top side instead. It's really just to neutralize what you have up here against the Gangplank instead. And then obviously you want to play for your Morgana and Caitlyn with the amount of CC that you're able, excuse me, to utilize here. So while you do have the Gangplank now, I'm afraid of the priority. We might see that be focused down towards the bottom side of the map. Getting JDXL with a mid lane priority right now is pivotal, because if you don't find that mid lane priority, nothing is going to help out your bot lane from the amount of pressure that they're going to be facing.
I'm thinking Vex.
Syndra as well is something that Eminence in the past had loved too, so
true, but Tempt on Vex was absolutely fantastic. Vex is still up and available, so he's absolutely insane into the victory. You can push him underneath the tower, which means your Zinzao can roam freely, but if you can create a stronger 2 versus 2 scenario, you can take over the map pretty easily as well. So when I'm looking at the side of JDXL, I'm thinking mid to bot. Everything goes towards the top side. Kryze pops up the ultimate, since he can't join with the teleport. He can very well be there with the global, and then you play onto shutting down definitely that Caitlyn Morgana lane. If you go further into the game and the Caitlyn has not taken any towers, it's good game well played. It's just really tough to get back into the game.
So this is the last champion select of the day. It's filled in. We are ready to go. We have to say goodbye to the champion select, but we have to say hello into the Summoner's Rift as the casters are waiting for us. So it's up to you guys.
Hello everybody, we're getting ready to go on to our final game of the day. It's going to be the long-awaited XL versus Dusty. Obviously XL, pretty star-studded lineup once again. We've had 2 games of these star-studded lineups now, but you know, XL team who, if we really think back to them, they've had some great performances in the NLC. EU Masters has been maybe... Yeah. So...
Well, the spring one was pretty good. No, come on. All right, the spring one, you know, they made it all the way to finals. Summer, obviously.
Yeah, true. So, I know, sorry, it was last year Masters. Yeah. Honestly, I've just forced last year out of my mind. that's what's happened. And it was upsetting, because obviously they made the right move of transferring 2 of their star players to the main roster, but it really stunted the growth of XL during the summer split. And then, you know, E-Master Summer was disappointing.
Of course, didn't quite make the distance. I think actually got knocked out in the first round of playoffs. Yeah, knocked out in the first round of playoffs. Yes. I want to say it was to Riddle, though I could be incorrect on that statement. I'd have to go back and look. It was either them or Nordavind, one of the 2. Watch me be wrong, and it was actually the other team. Either way.
Someone completely different, yeah.
You know, I feel like expectations definitely still high, right? It's JDXL. They are still,
yeah.
You know, organizationally the same in that regard. Practically a fresh roster from last year. Only Dan returning, and of course a lot of talent across the board. Kryze coming down from the ADC. Zamilek, I don't know if you recall, I believe it was all the way back in 2020 NLC Full Open. Was the last time I want to say he was here in the region.
It's been a little while.
Impressed a lot of us. And we were very excited to see where Zamilek will go. Of course, still quite young. I believe 17 years old. So a lot of potential there. And being, you know, scouted out to join a team like XL, you know, an academy. Very good for him. Of course, also coming from the UM run as well. So good run of Ross so far. We'll see if he can continue form here with the English side.
Keep our eyes on, we are seeing FGG, another player who we've had for a little while, landing a binding onto Venza. Forces the heal out from Zamilek. Ignite thrown down as well by Kikis, and FGG, Venza doing a great job here. Honestly, FGG with these bindings. 2 in a row onto Kikis, and the changes to Glacial Augment means that it's horrible. It's big old slows.
It's really annoying to play against. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get rooted, and then you're also slowed by the Glacial once you are eventually unrooted after the AFK screen of being binded and trapped at the same time. It doesn't feel great, but yeah, FGG lands 2 great bindings back to back. Definitely, if that binding doesn't come through, that's a completely different trade in the bot side. And FGG, a pretty, you know, insane rise to where he is right now, playing first division play. Of course, for anyone not familiar with FGG's story, started in 2020 in the UK Yell, and was then quickly quickly rose up to the UKLC, which of course second division UK play, and then very quickly. Buckland.
Dan's got this.
Dan can,
Oh, he spotted on the ward. He was spotted on the ward.
Yeah. So
Buckland able to move away to safety. Anyway, carry on about FGG, because he has been an impressive player.
And then, of course, I mean, during the short time that we had him in the UKLC, we were quite impressed with him on the Resolve Academy roster. Moved up to the Resolve first team, and whilst Resolve, you know, they didn't have a great amount of success last split, FGG was still a player that really shone through in that roster. So I'm glad that we get to still have him here in the league, and with a very experienced lane partner in Venza, who I'm sure would have been guiding and coaching him quite well. So I think it really makes for a strong pairing in the bottom side. And again, in a meta which is so heavy, and you know, Caitlyn's, what seems to be Jinx's as well now, these strong 2v2s are very, very valuable. And I think Venza traditionally has been an AD carry that's been pretty good at holding his own. And when he was here under XL, actually playing against his old team,
yeah, I was about to say we've got a bit of a storyline in that own right, don't we?
Yeah. Was fed a lot of resources, yes, but still very capable of holding his own. So I think that makes for a very, very strong duo where you've got this very, you know, new and experienced support, this very, very veteran AD carry who can show him the ropes and maybe ascend him to the next level.
I'm low-key glad we don't have Orcs anymore, because, man, he would be going on about how he won the UK scene with Venza on XL.
Oh, was that?
He's not even here. He's still doing it. Kreis has actually been caught out, but not going to commit for the kill. Trial by fire here.
Yeah. So another gangplank lane. You know, I'm sure you're very happy. Of course, I am. It's it's a pretty static lane. I think over time, if Gragas plays it out right, then he can just slowly sort of win the war of attrition. But eventually, as Iron Spikes start to come in, depending on what build Kreis goes for, of course, you know, gangplank can just start to have the edge more and more.
Oh, hello.
Gragas can't really do too much.
FGG been spotted. Flashes the wall. Has the slow on for the moment. Viking, you're going to help your support? Or you're going to let him die? Dan's chasing for the kill. Here comes Battler. They're charging in his first blood. The gravity field will pin him in place, though. And Backline will find himself a return kill. Typical jungler, man. Cares more about their camps than supporting their team.
Yeah, Viking really wanted that Raptor camp, huh? Yeah, not much else to say. I mean, you know, is FGG technically like face checking into territory that's maybe not quite his just yet?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Viking realistically wouldn't have been able to have added too much to this simply because he just didn't have Flag and Drag up. Yeah.
True.
But it does look pretty comical that he kind of just. It does, however, Dan has to commit quite far, and it does make it a 1-for-1. But you know, first blood, gold swing, yada yada. You get the maths on it. JDXL come out a little bit ahead, but it's practically even anyway. We'll see what exactly Dan can do with that first blood, because Dan is definitely a player that we know to be super aggressive, and also we know him for his Zinzal play.
Yes, absolutely. Well, he's fine Viking. FGG is going to roam over Kikis and Zamulek as well. We've seen XL's bot lane are experiencing Caitlyn Morgana. I don't see who got the smite. It was Dan. They found the lockdown onto Viking. Here's the cannon barrage. Just want to slow everybody down. 90 count knack from Venza. Going to be able to get a little bit of a slow at the moment. They flash the Zenith Blade, and Dan secures the kill. Venza trying to find a little bit of additional poke damage off, while Kreis actually looking for the kill onto the Gragas. Flashes, heals, cast! So close to going down.
Yeah. Woo. So unfortunate for both sides. Kreis almost finds lethal. It had to have been single-digit HP, and Aelif isn't quite able to get that angle on the cask to send Kreis underneath the tower. If he gets that cask, he just flashes away to safety, and well, Kreis just dies the tower. So very, very close 1v1 there on the top side, and on the bottom side, full-on fist fight for the Skull Crab, which of course JDXL end up winning out on. They get the crab, they get the kill. Feeling good across the board right now.
Viking just going to be doing his grump. I thought that was an invade for a reason, hence why I talked about it, and then realised that no, he's blue side. His colour is blue. Both junglers are on the opposite side of the map from each other. We'll see if they decide to look for anything anywhere else. There is a mountain dragon up. There's a chance, Jamada. There is hope.
Okay. I'm breaking down my prayer circle of candles. You know the tweet candle prayer circle. I'm doing all of that. I give just a new dragon soul for the final game of the day. My first cast in 2020. I'd love that. 3-2 games. It'd be really, really kind of. As Kryze and Kickus eyeing up Aleph here. Still has
Aleph
flash.
might be in trouble.
Yeah,
I actually had his jungle, so he was fine.
I feel like Viking just doesn't like FGG for some reason. Shows up to support Aleph, doesn't quite do it for his support. Something's not right there. But okay,
Ooh,
Kernku in the mid lane.
Spencer's going low, 4th shots. Whew. Oh wait, yeah. I keep getting baited by
yeah, no,
Viking.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Dusty forced out of the river as well at the same time. Nice little play there from JDXL on both sides. Just make sure they can secure mid lane priority, and obviously forcing Viking out of the river. Should secure the Herald if they so want it on the next wave or so. Kryze has prior here too. You'd imagine they will get the start pretty soon. Maybe just worrying about some kind of weird force and contest from Dusty, but there you go. Dan finally gets onto it. And with the bottom lane still in the bottom side and Kickus up here, gives the green flag that they are able to take this one. Should be no contest at all. And as usual, when we see Herald go down, always wondering where they will put it. And I think this is a pretty interesting game to talk about it, because there's not necessarily like a hyper carry in this game for XL. So I feel like you're kind of comfortable putting it into anybody. You put it into Jhin, well, you know, Jin's like your late game insurance. And when I say hyper carry, I mean like sort of traditional hyper carry, right? Syndra, you get her accelerate, she one-shots people much sooner. Gangplank, you get them to that point of Iron Spikes sooner, which is obviously very nice too. So not a bad option. Just wondering where JDXL actually wants to put their eggs.
Yeah, and a little bit more of a tempered start. I think this game's definitely a little bit more explosive than we had in the previous 2 games. XL definitely playing a little bit more decisively, but also their team does kind of lean a little bit more into that from the last 2 games from our winning teams. So, yeah, there is scaling there, but they also do have a little bit more early options.
Yeah.
But, you know, as good as XL have been doing, this is still Caitlyn Morgana, and it is just a terrific experience to play into. So much fun.
Oh, yes, it's blissful. It's absolutely fantastic. Whenever I get Warfield bot, there is no more the enjoyable experience than laning into Caitlyn Morgana.
I felt there is no greater pleasure, but they are looking to try and do something about it.
And this is why.
Again, it's Caitlyn Morgana. Venture flashes away. FGG will find himself a kill on the Kickus, and these 4th shots are doing a fair amount of damage. But here comes Dan. Got the Crescent Guard as well. FGG and Benzer are so low. Zamulek has flash. Locks one in place. Can they find the kill? Yes, they can. Make it 2. Revenge is served by Dan.
Yeah, Dan with the wind becomes lightning, finds the double kill there at the very end. FGG of these bindings have been so clutch. Binding here, onto Kickus, just keeps him still, plus the ultimate. Just means he can't do anything. He's just stuck in the Cannon Barrage and the Cataclysm. Get all of the curtain call blocks out. Very, very wonderful stuff from Dusty. And then Dan finds him and become lightning onto 2. Binding, flash. He's just rooted there for a second and a half. Fortunately, though, the Deadly Flourish comes out. And of course, roots up these 2 members. Flash Awoe into Wind Becomes Lightning. It's a double kill for Dan. And Dan 4-1 on the Zins out. 400 gold shutdown. He is absolutely massive. Expect JDXL now to play around him and make sure that wherever they want to make a play, he is either there for first or he's about to show up. And oh yes, another Morgana binding. Another.
What's worse about it is how long the binding lasts, and then when it wears off, you're slowed. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is an interactive experience of League of Legends.
Yeah, that is FGG having a very phenomenal first game here on the Dusty roster. Doesn't necessarily have the greatest score to show for it though, as Venza, Eminez, he's hunting.
Oh, Eminez able to find the kill as FGG is going to make sure Eminez gets an AFK report for how long he's unable to play the game. Vikings coming in, the flag, the drag, the binding again. Oh man. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the grey screen.
I mean, he was in one.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane.
Got put in the first binding. Yeah, mid lane, Short Kryze is potentially dead. No, he's alright.
Oh, no, good flash.
Yeah.
Got the crown finished up. Let's take stock of the items. So yeah, we got the crown finished up onto Backland. My voice is cracking apparently. Got a Triforce finished up onto Cries here. So not the fun build, but definitely the more consistent build. Going towards what will most likely be a Gale Force from Zamulek. Other than that, a couple of basic mythics that you'd kind of expect to have been picked up here and there. Gale Force onto Venza, Viking with the Kraken Slayer, same for Dan. Zamulek actually pretty accelerated in the sense that was able to pick up that tower earlier with plates and then just got a whole bunch of plates gifted here. FGG fishing for that binding, and it looks like a lot of people are starting to collapse here on the top side as Kikis is looking for an opportunity to find a binding onto Zamulek. In comes the backup, the stopwatch, the curtain has been called. Here is the cannon barrage. Venza going oh so low, but he's able to survive for now. Viking slides in, Kikis is going low, ace in the hole, gonna connect onto Dan. Dan going low and he's gonna fall down. Now the Syndra's joining into the fight, not gonna find the scatter of the week. And Dusty are going to be able to move away from this one unscathed for the most part.
Yeah, mostly unscathed, but I feel like when we come back out of this replay and we look at the state of the map, definitely still an outright win. Most likely, though. At the end of this is Dusty got to pick up a shutdown onto Dan, so that's a lot of gold. Of course, started with that engagement FGG. Kikis, though, still a tanky customer. And fortunately for Venza, well-timed flash, or a Gale Force away, I believe. Ensures that he doesn't die to Dan. Dan oak mid in the middle of everybody, but the shutdown goes over to Viking. Crucially, I mean, Jarvan can make do quite well with gold, but you want that to go into Backland, into Venza. You want that in one of your carries as 700 gold to accelerate them onto their item spikes. But second dragon is Cloud. Okay, Jake, it's 50-50.
Oh, baby, that's what. Yeah, I like those odds. I'm feeling those odds, baby. Dragon's already been started. Let's move down. I want to see this. Half health onto the dragon. I don't think Dusty are even going to bother contesting. It's not worth it. What are we getting? What are we getting? It's an Infernal. I just think it was Infernal. It was Infernal, wasn't it? Oh! Pain!
All right, man.
I want a refund.
Can we restart the whole day and just, like, Dragon RNG differently, or is that allowed? I don't know.
I'm suing Riot.
It's a sad day in the NLC. At least for the two of us, anyway. It's been a fantastic opening day of the year. And JDXL right now enjoying a pretty decent game so far. 2,500 gold up. Fishing for a pick there, but not going to find much. And it should just also be Herald, I think. Well, shouldn't be much contest from Dusty. They don't really have the positioning for it. Viking still on the bottom side. Alef does have teleport, but posture is quite clear from Dusty. They are not interested at all in fighting XL right now. And I think rightfully so. I feel like at the moment, XL are just stronger, but the question then comes, when do Dusty really sort of start to measure up to them? And it will definitely take a little while. Cries, the recipient of another visit.
He has no flash, so he's stuck inside the Cataclysm. He's trying to dodge out, but Venza's going to slide in with the Gale Force. And there it is. Venza secures his first kill of the game. Nice kill onto Cries. They do lose the Rift Herald on the other side of the map, which could be a problem in this mid lane. But for now, Venza is probably just going to be able to take this tower.
Yep, a little bit of extra invested gold into Venza's back pocket. And honestly, this particular Herald is going to be quite high value for XL, I think, especially if they slam it into the mid lane. You're against Caitlyn and Victor. You really want this mid lane tower to go down. You know, there's always those champions that kind of just change game states entirely when they're in it. Xerath, Victor, Azir, those kind of champions that just have this really, really obnoxious wave clear to deal with. It's shielded by that mid-tier 1, so as soon as you take that down, that safety net is then immediately removed. So that's my prediction, that's my expectation for XL. Drop it in the mid lane unless they find some kind of play on, you know, the side lane here on the bottom side, because top side now looks to be Dusty's. And maybe that'll be a little bit better for the gold, but I think if you knock down this mid-tier 1, Dusty have a much harder time actually navigating and operating the map, and it gives JDXL a lot more freedom to effectively do whatever the hell they want with it.
I mean, realistically, it's going to go mid because you've already taken tier 1s on the other side. So like you said, unless you're really finding an opportunistic opportunity, you're very extended, especially when mid isn't open to be that deep. But Dan is actually thinking about it. Yeah, the pings are going down.
I mean, you have to kind of weigh up the benefits, right? You get 600 gold if you... Actually, I feel like they can just push this without the Herald, but maybe they drop it anyway. But 600 gold for the side lane tower.
I mean, they've actually caught Dusty sleeping here. Look at the positioning on the map.
Yeah, Dusty are trying to take control of the top side right now. So not only have Dusty yielded the 600 gold between the mid and jungle there of JDXL, I mean, sure, Buckland might get this topside tower, but now BTXL get to drop the Herald mid, and not only is this a massive gold swing, they also get a massive amount of map control as an engage comes in.
Flare. They're looking for the fight. There's the teleport coming down. It looks like the tower will just be the victim. They find the stun into the barrels. Great damage reduction from the crown, but the curtain has been called, and it is the end of days for Backland. Slowed by the 4th shot. Scatter the weak. Not going to get thrown down quite yet. And Dusty will lose their lose their mid lane. And lose their mid-tier 1 tower. Wow, words are hard. It's been a while since I've done this.
It's been a solid 3 minutes for you. I heard opportunistic.
I mean, all right.
Oh, okay. Let's go out of Zamalek here.
Well, it looks like they're actually going for something here. They've got the flank and the great binding. Actually, Kick is sliding in, and they're able to find the kill. Great scatter of the weak. Kick gets the belly bop, and that is going to be another kill. Zamalek cashes in. 3 for the side of Dusty as Backland resurrects to find he's only got Viking in his pocket.
Yeah, this is actually something that Venta on Movistar Riders during EUM did quite a few times when he was on Caitlyn, specifically, actually. The circumstances slightly different, not a lead in this game, but they would just push up in the mid lane too far, overreach. And it just feels like I'm watching a replay of EUM 2021 summer from Venza here. And I mean, JDXL, they just appropriately punished. There's nothing else to say about this play. I feel like maybe they assume that, JDXL just expended a lot of, resources and time in the mid lane play, so they're probably just resetting, going back to base, not doing much. But surprise, surprise, they're still on the map. And they're still very much ready and capable of just absolutely murdering you for overstepping in the mid lane.
The sad-faced dragon is going to be spawning up in 9 seconds' time. XL have got positioning on the area, and then again, Dusty are kind of just on the wrong side of the map. I don't think they're going to contest the giant in this Baron, but they might.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say wrong side. It just seems like they don't want to contest the dragon, right? So they're going for the cross-map play, which I think is fine. It just depends on how much they can get. Christ has flashed this time, so gets away from the Cataclysm on this particular play. Dragon will be picked up. So still net positive JDXL. They should lose this tower. But obviously the Infernal stats, they even this out. It's just about Benzo obviously getting the accelerated goal. But at this point, you're a Caitlyn that's 1-3-2 at 20 minutes in, who's not 2 items, and doesn't really have that much relevancy, I'm sorry to say. At this point in the game, it's going to take a while. Maybe almost 3rd item, maybe even breaching on 4th. But at that point, Jin probably has a little more efficiency than you do. We'll have to see for Venza, though. Very, very capable on this champion when he is on it. Right now, has unfortunately been shut down by his former team.
Unfortunately so. There we are, 21 minutes in. Prize. Got the mortal reminder now. Lord Dominic's, that's a different item. They find the scatter. It's the counter scatter. It's the curtain call as well. A lot of damage. The solar flare gets popped out. The cannon barrage is coming down. FGG is almost popped. Kikis is looking for the follow-up. They're not going to be able to find it. The binding goes a little bit wide, and they're completely zoned away for the moment. But Kikis slides in, and Venza's taken down by Dan. The unleashed power is not quite enough to get the kill, but the scatter of the week will do so. That's a double onto XL in the mid. Back one being run down. He has no crown to keep himself alive. No damage reduction. MNES has got a double kill, and he's looking for the triple kill. Not going to be enough. There it is, an ace for the side of XL.
Yeah, 5-0 ace for the side of XL. And that was just a completely dominating fight. Such an uninteractive start to that fight for Dusty. You just kind of have to feel bad. You almost wince at it. They're just getting gunned down from all of these different abilities. Curtain Call, Cannon Barrage, Solar Flares, chipping at them. Scatter, they just can't respond at all from the side of Dusty. And XL just run them down off the back of all of the CC. I mean, look at this. Curtain Call, Solar Flare has to flash away. Cannon Barrage on the escape route. Look at what they do. They practically lose a member and a half of HP just from these abilities that they just can't respond from. It's absolutely absurd. But again, well played to JDXL, I beg your pardon, on recognizing that again, in the mid lane, Dusty just overstepped and overreach for little to no reason. And of course, MNES landing all of these Qs here, and eventually the Scatter Week to secure the 5-0 ace.
Oh, so nice there from MNES on the Syndra, the heal actually to break out from the gravity field so he didn't get locked down for too long, just for the movement speed. Really smart play there. XL, they're proving their point, I think, in this game. Probably more than any of the other teams we've had so far who we have high expectations of.
Yeah, I will say it just felt like Astralis and X7, you know, very much. They were just playing by the book, like we said, right?
I'm not saying they play bad by any means.
Oh,
no. Don't read me wrong on that. I just say XL are playing very, very confidently and very dominantly right now.
Yeah.
It's not the chokehold, it is. We are just going to powerhouse through you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels more like BTX. Again, JDXL of old, where they kind of just run through you. Dan, maybe in a bit of trouble, has the ultimate.
Oh, hello. There's the curtain call. Can Viking dodge away? I think he's going to be okay. Backline eats the low health bar. That's where he eats. He's going to be able to take the inhibitor tower, followed up by the inhibitor. So that's going to fall down. 24 minutes on the clock, and XL are playing phenomenally well right now. FGG been on it with the bindings. Not going to really drop that, but unfortunately, not really got the follow-up anymore because the gold is just too big. It's just too hard for them to handle, and FGG just loses his entire health bar to 2 abilities.
Yeah, you know, the draft is starting to come through here in the mid game, where all of these sort of long-range CC tools, they're just becoming too difficult for Dusty to really deal with. And whilst they do have range options of their own, it just feels... Oh my god!
Oh my word, he's gone! The Cataclysm from Viking is just a desperation to pin them in place, and Dan will burn to the ignite. The flash by Backland to try and secure the kill, but it's not enough as Venza lands himself the lockdown into 2, into 3 men as the Scattered Week comes down, and everybody is dropping left, right, and center. Dusty are just crumbling at the seams. They have been Thanos snapped as they turn to dust. XL are wiping them from the rift.
XL are surgically removing Dusty member by member. And I think in this particular play, it all comes down to MNES and these beautiful Scat of the Weeks. The first one on Savenza, the second one on 2 more members at the exact same time, secures their first win of the NLC split. He will die to Venza. Okay. He will die to Venza, but he makes sure Venza pays for it in KDA. JDXL finish
25 minutes on the clock. 21 kills. XL come in to the NLC day 1. On fire, on form. They looked absolutely phenomenal, Jamada.
That felt like a clapping that we used to see from XL, you know, sort of pre-summer 2021, where they would come in and they'll just absolutely stomp on the enemy team with little to no recourse. So I'm happy to see XL, you know, as a organization back in this kind of form. Obviously, you know, it's Dusty. We don't know the overall strengths of the rosters just yet, but it is great to see, you know, historically a very strong org open up the season with such a strong performance.
Absolutely. Phenomenal stuff there from XL. Absolutely wonderful to see them back on form. I think, you know, it's only day 1, so it's quite hard to kind of really judge the power levels. I think tomorrow we have an amazing game, and I don't want to spoil that in case I'm wrong. But we do have some really, really good stuff coming up. So as the dust settles, excuse the pun, we'll start to get a better understanding of, you know, where these teams stand in power level. But for now, we are going to throw to a break, and when we're back, we'll have the analyst desk to break down the day and maybe do some interviews. So we'll see you in a moment.